Hi everyone, welcome. I taught my client how to play the piano. My rationale for doing this was I had confidence in teaching the notes on the staff, keys on the piano, and Mary Had a Little Lamb, just because I had 5 years of piano lessons when I was younger. And then when mentioning this plan to my client, they had said that they always wanted to learn to play the piano and to be able to read music. They said they wanted to do this because it's some knowledge that you can carry with you throughout your life. My client did come into the teaching sessions with some previous knowledge, so prior to baseline, they knew the location of middle C on the piano. They had experience with playing bells at church, although they said that they weren't able to understand how to read the music, and they knew how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the piano at one point in time. My short-term goals are the client will be able to label 9 out of 11 notes on the treble clef staff by the second teaching session with no prompts. Number 2, the client will be able to label 4 to 5 keys on the piano by the second teaching session with no prompts. And number 3, the client will be able to play Mary Had a Little Lamb with 80% accuracy on the piano by the second teaching session with no prompts. Again, with their previous knowledge, I felt that their performance on this baseline would be just 1 out of 5 on the second one, and the other ones being 0% accuracy, just because she had previous knowledge of middle C on the piano. So for my procedure, I just really wanted to use simple questions to avoid any persuasive language or unconscious prompting. So whenever I showed a note, I would just ask, what note is this? Whenever I showed a key, I just said, what key is this? And then my prompt for Play Mary Had a Little Lamb was just simply Play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Here's my scoring sheet. So the first objective, the client would receive 1 point if they labeled the note correctly on the staff, and then 0 if they labeled it incorrectly. And similar thing for number 2, if they labeled the key correctly, they would get 1 point, and if they labeled it incorrectly, they got 0 points. For objective 3, they'd be awarded 1 point if they played the key correctly and in the right order, and then 0 if it was the wrong key or the wrong order. So the baseline data, the client performed objective 1 with 18% accuracy, objective 2 with 100% accuracy, and objective 3 with 0% accuracy. Based on the data from the baseline, I decided to adjust my short-term goals just a bit, but more specifically, I really wanted to test their knowledge of the second objective. Being that my client was able to do this with 100% accuracy, I thought that it'd be more challenging to put the keys in a random order. So I use this image to show my client the alphabetical progression of the notes on the staff, as well as the notes on the line and the notes in the spaces separately. And then we used Every Good Bird Does Fly as a mnemonic to label and identify the notes on the lines, and then Face to identify and label the notes in the spaces. So on the left here, this is the original way I tested the knowledge of my client. And so for the first teaching session, after we learned the mnemonics, I decided to just put these little white letters on the notes on the staff, so the client would be able to kind of associate both of those things together. Teaching the keys, this was pretty easy as the client, performed with 100% accuracy right away. I did, however, use the 2 pictures on the right here to help them associate the 2 black keys with the 3 white keys, and then the 3 black keys with just the 2 tested white keys. So playing Mary Had a Little Lamb was our most challenging objective. But now that the client was able to identify the notes, they were able to look at the sheet music and know which keys to use. We worked together to read through the pattern of the notes and that create the song Mary Had a Little Lamb. The client played through while looking at the music sheet 3 times. And then after the session, I actually realized that the client was going to need some more scaffoldings to be able to play the song without the sheet music. So my teaching session and post-test objectives were back to the baseline. So for the second teaching session, we just revisited how to identify the notes on the staff. The client did need some assistance in remembering the mnemonics we use to identify the notes, but after remembering that the notes are alphabetically arranged, they were able to use that knowledge to identify them. We went through the blank notes in a random order to see if they could apply their learned information from the previous teaching session. And then being that the client performed on a Objective 2 with 100% accuracy, I didn't have to reattach or go over any other prompts from the first session. They were able to identify the keys with 100% accuracy out of order. As previously mentioned, I realized that after the first teaching session that the client was going to need more scaffolding to be able to perform better on this objective. So we again revisited the music sheet we used in the first teaching session. At this point, it was proving to be a very easy task for my client to be able to read the sheet music and play with 100% accuracy multiple times. So I decided to move on and try without the sheet music. The prompts that were given before their first attempt with no music sheet included, sometimes it helps me if I sing the song in my head and realize when I would need to raise my voice up in the song and when it would go down, and then using that as how you would do it on the keys as well. And this actually increased their performance from the 0 prompt first time 26%, and then the second time through they got 76% accuracy. And then they performed a third time with 76% accuracy again. And then we realized that they made the error at the same spot of the song, and that reviewing that section of the music would be very beneficial. So after this, my client was able to play with 100% accuracy with no prompts. As you can see here, the client improved significantly from baseline to post-test. They met each objective with ease. Objective 1, they performed from 18% to 100% accuracy on the post-test. Objective 2, 100% to 100%, and Objective 3 from 0% to 96%. I really enjoyed this teaching experience because it's been a while since I have really thought about my skills of reading music and being able to play the piano. And I'm really grateful for my clients' willingness to learn and their overall outlook on having and using the knowledge for the future. I also found it beneficial to learn how to adjust goals to make more challenging objectives a little bit simpler and simple objectives a little bit more challenging for my client. Thank you.